I flew on an airplane twice when I was in prison. I started out my prison journey in Dublin, California, and I was there for a year. And while I was at the prison, I was blogging a lot and I was writing about things that were happening in the prison, and the prison didn't like it. And so they decided to ship me to a different prison. And what they did was they called me over to the lieutenant's office. They took me to the SHU, which is called Special Housing Unit, or the jail within the prison, where you're locked down for 23 hours a day in a really small confined cell. And I was there for 3 or 4 weeks. And then the marshals showed up and they chain you, they shackle you, and they took me to a landing strip. And then I had to shimmy my way up into the plane of Con Air, and there's marshals with big shotguns and sunglasses. It's all very intimidating and kind of like the movie. So I get up in this plane and there's a whole bunch of other inmates, and we're going from city to city, picking up inmates. And eventually it took 3 weeks from going from different detention centers, and it's miserable. You're not eating, you can't use the bathroom. It's actually shocking that it happens in this country. But I landed in Waseca, Minnesota a few weeks later. I was so happy to get to the prison. And then I was at that prison for, I think, almost 3 years. And then they called me back in and said, "Hey, Lowder, your security level's so low, we're going to send you to a prison camp, low security, to do the end of your prison sentence." I had like 7 months left. Now this time, my security level's so low, they decide just to drop me off at the airport in Minnesota, and I have to figure out how to get on an airplane. All I have is my prison ID. I was completely nervous and scared, more scared than I was when I got on Con Air. I went and asked a security officer to help me find the plane, get on the plane. Then I get to California. I had a migraine headache from the stress and had to go find a taxi driver. They gave me enough money to pay the taxi driver to take me to the prison camp. And then I walked right into the prison camp myself, totally relieved that I was finally back in prison. And that's my experience flying while I was in prison.